here. So the bans have been decided. Amaz has banned the rogue, and Ardu has banned the priest from Amaz.
This
No.
is so good
Oh
because
my
when we were talking
god.
about it in Shenzhen we had a similar system with a best of five and bans as well. RD was like, why should I ban Priest? I will never ban Priest of Amaz because it's a bad deck. I can win versus it without any problems. And then Amaz actually like wrecked RU with his Priest. So now it seems like RU has a lot of respect for Amaz and his Priest and his skills playing the Priest. What do you think about it?
It's amusing. Just like you said, RDU says, if I'm gonna face something like Priest, I'm just gonna let Priest have to beat me. But now I think he's shown some respect. Maybe this is growth in RDU's game to say, you know what? Maybe I'm not gonna let Amaz play a class that he's practiced thousands of hours with. And it makes sense. I think it's Amaz's best class by far because he's able to think of all these board clears and really cool situational combo plays. And it forces him to win with his other classes rather than something that he's spent thousands of hours refining.
And you
And
know
now
what's
Amaz
interesting?
will play as Hunter. Even though Hunter, I think, is still a really good choice to ban something, I think Priest is also a solid one.
Right now, those players will face each other playing Warlock. Both of them are playing a Zoo deck. Amaz will be playing a Zoo, like more or less standard Zoo with Void Terror. One copy of Void Terror as a surprise, but other than that, it seems like a standard list with Wild Growth. Oh wait, no Wild Growth, but still, the list is pretty standard. And then RDU is playing also a standard list with double Void Terror. So we've seen all those Warlock decks before. We've seen the Demon Lock played by both Sixo and Reels. Here it's Zoo versus Zoo, and we open with this match with this game.
That's really cool too, because Amaz, I think this is the first time I've seen him play Zoo in any kind of high level tournament. He's always played Handlock, and now he's bringing the other side where he's playing a much more aggressive deck. I think I haven't really seen him play any other version of it. It's not like he's played, aggro Paladin or aggro Rogue. Instead, this might be the first time we see him use it. So, we're gonna see whether or not Amaz has the killer instinct, right? Because aggro, everyone kind of pegs as a more of a quote brain dead way to play Hearthstone. But at these high level stakes, there are a lot of intricacies, especially to the mirror matchup, Nimsh.
Yeah, you can definitely, well, playing aggro and not knowing how to play it, you can definitely play it too conservatively and like just give out the win. Like instead of just winning the game in 2 turns, you can just start trading and just lose the chance. And now we are going into the game with RDU having the coin and double flame imp. Oh my god, and the
Well,
juggler
and
as well.
Soulfire.
Sick. This is a sick opening from RDU.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough to bounce back off of this kind of start. You flood the board with two of your strongest one drops. You have a Soulfire to take down anything that can oppose to it, and you're going to be able to get in lots of damage. And the person who strikes first is really in a favorable position because this person second can't life tap as easily in order to get back in the game without being threatened of just dying.
On the other hand, Amaz has a pretty solid lineup with a Death Rattle minions. So it's like RDU is winning right now with the big 3-2 imps. He will probably play Juggler and kill the Voidwalker, but still Amaz has all those sticky minions that can help him to turn around the game in mid game.
Oh, wait. Well, there is a possibility for some magic to happen because he
man.
does have the Knife Juggler and the Haunted Creeper. If it hits
And Elven
minions, it'll be
Archer as
really
well.
good. Elven Archer can go for the clear. I don't believe it. Is this going to happen? Oh, okay.
Not really,
well,
but still, this was
3 out
a
of 4.
huge turn.
3 out of 4 is not bad, and RDU cannot be happy with how that transpired.
Also, those flame imps that died pretty easily, they dealt 6 damage total to RDU. So right now, RDU is losing on board, and he's losing on health as well.
He went for a pretty risky play of maybe discarding the Doomguard, but he knows he's going to get his board clear, but he wants to have this powerful card still being pushed out in the next couple of turns. So now this is going to be an opportunity for Amaz to start controlling once again. He picks up something like Defender of Argus or Abusive Sergeant, and that becomes a board that's really hard to push through.
This is so crazy. Oh, he gets a Dwarf, which is kind of huge because he didn't even have a turn 4 play.
That's
Right now,
excellent.
Dark Iron Dwarf is not easy to clear. Amaz doesn't have enough damage to kill it, but he can just push with damage. The problem is, RDU has a Doomguard just waiting for the next turn, being
Nice
played
top
without
deck.
any drawback at least. Oh, sweet.
Yep, he gets the Abusive Sergeant to trade, and that's the most important thing. Just keep going for the trades, control the board as much as possible. I like keeping the Argent Squire in the center here, so that way things like Defender of Argus become really powerful. You use the Divine Shield as your leverage.
Right now, the board that Amaz has is so good with so many small minions dealing as much damage as possible. Doomguard is a nice card, but then it's just one card. If there's something like Defender of Argus coming out from Amaz, Doomguard will be just stopped.
I think you do tap. You have enough to trade in. You may be able to do something better. Ooh,
Can
and the
you
Ruby
clear
Egg
this,
is
dude?
really slow.
You're not able to deal with this, but then you deal more damage each turn. The problem is like you're lower.
How about this? Do you have the gall to push for damage anyways and force Doomguard to be in a tough position where it can't clear?
No, I guess a clear is fine here. Especially because RDU will be life tapping every turn. He needs the card, so he will be pushing him lower and lower.
I think so. Ooh, Soulfire is nice because that allows him to go for the full board clear. He silences the Harvest Golem. He can Soulfire it and push and even tap for maybe a 1-drop.
This game is so dynamic. It's giving me chills. It's like so much happening with every card.
I think so. I think you put the Nerubian Egg between the Iron Beak and the Argent Squire as well.
For the possible Defender of Argus next turn.
Okay, well, he's going to opt not to.
Oh my
Whoa,
God, the
double
second Soulfire.
Soulfire.
I think you use it actually right now. Even if you...
I think so too.
There is a chance to get a Doomguard. So if you use Soulfire now...
Yeah, well, he's gonna put it because he realizes he doesn't have opponent. He doesn't have the ability to push for lethal next turn anyway. So Soulfire might be what he needs to hold. But I completely understand. If you draw Doomguard, you're only gonna be able to play one of those cards.
If he gets Doomguard, he will really regret it because that would be lethal.
That would be lethal. You're right. But it's not. It's a Voidwalker, and now Amaz can kind of choose what he wants to do here.
Well, he can still tap. It's like you're staring only at 2 points of damage coming from your opponent. So you've seen one
you have
Doomguard.
Voidwalker.
You can. How much damage can you actually deal? 5, 9, and a Voidwalker.
So you Voidwalker, Soulfire, and then tap? Or do you tap to find out what you get, maybe draw into something like Doomguard, but then you're risking the 50-50?
I guess Voidwalker, Soulfire, tap. Soulfire face, tap into Doomguard, win the game.
Love it, Amaz. He's going for it. Void Terror
Terror
to activate the egg.
Yeah, he can do it.
Okay. He's gonna go for it and try to go for a board that can't be cleared, meaning that RDU has to win off of whatever cards he has. He needs a very specific set of cards. Let me see. Is there any way he can immediately burst
I
through?
don't think even if he gets like a Soulfire, even if he gets a Soulfire and Doomguard out of that, it's still not enough. Especially now with like clear. That's it. Amaz takes the first game.
Yeah, what a swing and reversal of fortunes as Amaz was able to stabilize off of probably one of the best starts Zoo can ever ask for. Soulfire, Double Flame, and the coin. And Amaz's Zoo is the one who comes triumphant in the mirror match.
Juggler is so important in this matchup, especially if you have a follow-up with minions like Haunted Creeper and the tokens. It's like the only good way to actually swing the game with the board clear. Some people play Hellfire, but it's kind of tricky because then you destroy your own minions. But here, Juggler and Elven Archer was MVP of this match, of this game.
Absolutely. Now, RDU will turn to his Warrior deck. Warrior can deal with Zoo pretty well if it gets the right cards, Fiery War Axe, if you get the Whirlwinds. But one thing that has kind of thrown a big wrench into things is the Nerubian Egg and how it interacts with a lot of what Warrior has. You're more resilient to things like Whirlwind, and you're able to use trades to put out these 4/4s that will shred the armor down so that way you can't shield slam.
On the other hand, Warrior now has the Unstable Ghoul as well, which is another taunt that's hard to bypass and works as a board clear as well. So it will be interesting to see how the game unfolds. RDU is playing Spectral Knight instead of the Sludge Belcher, so he's missing those two taunts. Instead, he has those solid mid game minions that are good to to trade with the small minions that the Zoo has. So this match can go either way. Will you give advantage to Amaz playing Zoo against this warrior?
Uh, okay. Well, before Naxxramas, I would say Zoo is very strong against Warrior. Nowadays, I don't know. I think it really depends on how things draw. Like the unstable ghoul, just like you mentioned, is a great tool. He doesn't have Sludge Belchers, but if he gets the Fiery War Axe, I feel like you can conquer almost anything. And especially if you get into the late stage game where you have Gorehowl and then you just use Gorehowl to trade with Alexstrasza to bounce you back, it doesn't really matter what Zoo does unless they have like the power overwhelming finishers with big charge damage. So I feel like Warrior can do it. But again, you can't really say one is favored over the other just by paper. You have to see the opening draws, and then I can say who has an advantage.
Yeah, I certainly agree. Also with the new cards, this will be really different. And Amaz gets a coin and has a sick opening.
Wait, but wait. RDU has Armor Smith, and he has Fiery War Axe, and a lot of
Slam.
small removal.
Yeah,
So
RDU
this could
also
work
has
out.
all the cards. Nice. Both players get really good hands in this matchup, so it will be pretty interesting to see who comes on top.
And you know, this Fiery War Axe is really important. 2-for-1. It negates the effect of the coin for a little bit of damage. It's a little tough because you won't necessarily have the opportunity to curve out perfectly compared to if you were, say, on the coin. You could coin out the War Axe, safely drop the Armor Smith on turn 2, and then turn 3, say you have something like an Acolyte to continue to protect it. Now RD will be playing slightly off curve, and this is an opportunity for Amaz to sneak in as much damage as possible before everything goes down.
I'm really curious to see if Lothab will actually play any role in this game, because if you put Lothab on a key turn where your opponent wants to finish you with a Soulfire, it can actually stop them from winning, and then you may be able to like get enough health back with armoring up and stuff. So I'm really interested to see Lothab here. But still, slamming the 3-2 is a good play. You just deny more damage. Playing Armor Smith might be tough.
The thing about Armor Smith is I don't want my opponent to be able to kill it in one blow. I can understand RDU because you can set it up for Slam and Cruel Taskmaster and do some really good stuff next turn. And also, Slam might have more value to draw on other bigger minions starting from 3 mana up, like Harvest Golem. Or if on the weird off-fringe kiss of like Scarlet Crusader, if anyone's still playing that. I don't think so because Void Terror is more popular.
Do you Soulfire the Armor Smith here? Oh, he's going for a knife, I guess. And
Knife can also solve that problem. He doesn't have the Soulfire anymore.
Yeah, I'll definitely kill it and just keep Soulfire in my hands. I think like the Harvest Golem is actually important, especially against Warrior.
Yep. But this is where Slam has a better target too. You're able to take out something like this Knife Juggler.
But you have, yeah, exactly. You just have to deal with the Knife Juggler here.
Yeah, but at the same time, this is why he doesn't Slam on the Flame Imp, because if a higher priority target comes out, Slam becomes much more important to clear that.
The thing is, like, Warrior is running out of cards. On turn 5, he doesn't have a good play. He will be able to armor up and shield slam, but then he's just playing one card every turn. He just exhausted all of his removal cards, mostly. And Zoo is able to play either Defender of Argus or Harvest Golem, and then Zoo will just continue to rack up cards. Like, Amaz will be live tapping like a madman, just getting 2 cards every turn.
And he's at a pretty good health, too. Because the one thing is Warrior doesn't want to tap if they keep pushing themselves within a lethal range. Whoa, that's nice. The RDU can go for a full board clear here.
Yeah, I think it's a really nice card to get. Just clear the board completely, and then whatever Zoo plays next turn, you will have that card, you will have that Gorehowl, and maybe you will be able to retake the board and kind of stabilize, but you're in the top deck mode. Right now, you can get some of the useless cards, the cards that you don't want to get.
Yeah, this is where the Warlock's hero power really starts to shine. I mean, people already have written dissertations and PhD papers on why Warlock hero power might need to be nerfed or tweaked. But let me
Totally agree
reiterate,
on
when
that.
you're in this scenario where you can use your health as a resource to draw cards and outpace your opponent, you're basically going twice as fast. And this is where decks like Zoo shine. Unfortunately for Amaz, he does have a Doomguard and Soulfire, so he might have to flip a coin or just deal with the fact that he might lose his Soulfire.
But on the other hand, he has all those small minions, and having the Kern being a 4/5, just killing one of the small minions with 2 attack doesn't do that much. So Amaz is not really concerned about Kern trying to kill his minions here.
Maybe he should though, because one thing that Karen does is bring value back in the Warriors' favor. Because one of the things is, as much as he's not drawing a lot of cards, things like the Karen and the Gorehowl allows him to 2 for 2 whatever gets put out. Because normally it's 2 minions that are getting pushed out with the hero power. So if you're able to fight for value, you don't have to be top decking much. Gorehowl and Cairn are ways for RDU can climb back in this game, and he does have Alex Straza. I just noticed. So I think by no means is RDU out of this game just yet.
He's definitely still defending here. Oh, he loses the
Oh,
Doomguard. This is
oh
huge.
no! He had a 33% chance that Doomguard get discarded, and he pays the price. And I think now RDU certainly has a chance to be able to climb back into this game. If he just has to pair Whirlwind
Oh
off
my
the
god,
top,
the
that
Whirlwind
is
top
such
deck.
a big draw. Oh my god! All of a sudden, this is a brand new game.
And the
RDU
Acolyte
top
of
decks
Pain
Acolyte
even.
of Pain.
This is so sick. He just took over the game because of the Doomguard discard and the 2 lucky top decks.
Wow, that is
Save
a
team Alex
huge
Straza?
draw.
Wait, is RDU just winning the game next turn or something like that? It's Alex Straza into Amaz.
I can't believe that sequence of 2 draws were able to net him card advantage while being able to safely secure the play. He can use Alex Straza offensively, put him down to what, like 1 life tap essentially, but no, he's gonna play it safe. No need to rush the build. The fact is there's an 8/8 out, and he's still gonna represent lethal the following turn anyways.
Right now he has full
Maz is
control of this
wrecked.
game. Amaz got wrecked, definitely. I feel like
Maz got totally wrecked. Oh my god.
this Iron Dwarf is just sad, but I would definitely play the Doomguard there. It's something that we talked about before. It's like Amaz went for a really risky play and a chance to use both. Like it was super greedy to actually use the Soulfire and have a chance to discard Doomguard. He should definitely go for like Doomguard play. Like instead of tapping, just play the 2/1, play Doomguard, and discard Soulfire. Here he got greedy, and now he lost this game.
I think so too. I think he took an unnecessary risk. Doomguard is so powerful because when your opponent has no armor, he used both shield slams. He has to have execute. Even if you have something like Gorehowl, he used his first charge. He still needs a little bit more juice. So Amaz got a little bit greedy and he paid the ultimate price by losing Zoo, one of the most powerful decks in the current tournament meta. But thankfully, he does have good responses to it with Shaman and Hunter. These decks can be really good against modern day warriors who don't have cards like Baron Geddon or the fact that they can't deal with high mains that effectively with the Hunters get scrolling.
Oh my god, you're actually right. You're bringing a very valid point. The nowadays warrior doesn't run the Baron Geddon, so it's a different matchup now because Baron Geddon with Whirlwind was really taking care of the board, and with 1 brawl, well, you have the unstable ghoul, but still, Shaman is pretty powerful deck versus warrior in this current build.
Don't act so
And
surprised, Nimsh. That I said something. You're like,
I
oh
just
my
realized
god,
that.
you are actually right. No, it makes sense too because they've replaced things like Korkrons, which can answer things like Unbound as well. It just a lot of the answers directly that Warrior had to stabilize what Shaman was doing before it got out of control has been removed for other things that are great against other matchups. Although Spectral Knight is still kind of this mysterious force that people aren't sure how to like completely harness yet, because it's still really annoying. It's a lot of the removal from what Shaman has.
Yeah, and there is still the Harrison Jones Doomhammer thing going on, and we actually seen like this group. I think we've seen it 3 times. 3 times Harrison Jones was taking the Doomhammer to the museum and just winning the game at that point.
Yeah, Harrison Jones has been the big X factor in this entire tournament, swinging games so badly. I mean, he has the capability of like Black Knight. Black Knight on a big taunt minion just blows out games. When you have Harrison Jones and Black Knight, it can spell disaster for your opponent.
We are now seeing the players mulliganing, and RDU got a coin. Amaz mulligans reincarnate back. Like, I really want to see him using that reincarnate with Baron Reven there, but unfortunately he's not having those cards now. He will go with the small minions, build up the board, and then follow up with his bigger cards. On the other hand, RDU, he didn't get the small dudes that he normally want. He didn't get the Armor Smith, he didn't get the Taskmaster, but he has the Fury Works.
Yeah, the Unstable Ghoul will be a great draw top deck because it answers the Haunted Creeper immediately. But he does draw the Fiery War Axe, like you said, so he has stuff to do to answer these small, annoying minions. Fiery War Axe is actually a very important keep against something like Feral Spirit, so that way the card goes 1-for-1. But oftentimes you're tempted to use the Fiery War Axe beforehand.
Do you use Fiery War Axe right now?
I feel like 1 damage pressure isn't that much to be concerned with, but you know, at the same time, if you use the Fiery War Axe and kill off the Haunted Creepers, you're actually taking more damage per turn.
It's so weird because like you can't use your slam effectively, and you don't have the whirlwind as a follow-up to actually clear the board. So it would be super weird to actually play Fiery War Axe here. On the other hand, Amaz is having a good lineup with the Nerubian Egg as well, so he's kind of not afraid of Brawl. But the Brawl is not there even in Ardio's hand.
This is also a very small thing, but I don't like the Nerubian Egg on the far right. Because if you use something like Flame Tongue Totem and you push it in, you want it to spread out. And the egg, I think the Nerubian will pop out in the same spot as the egg dies. Last time I checked. In which case, it won't slide over and allow your other totems from this point on to continue trading. So this is just a small thing, but I don't know if that egg placement is exactly the best right now for Amaz.
Yeah, I think I agree. But he got an Ancestral Spirit, so he can actually play it on an egg and get a double the throttle here.
Oh.
I don't think like
Oh my
Ardiu's
God,
playing
you're
any
right.
silence.
Oh man, he can put out 2 4/4s with that.
Wait, he can actually... How sick is that? Ancestral Spirit, double Rock Biter on an egg, and actually kill the 4/6. You kill the 4/6, you get double 4/4s. The problem is the Brawl, right? That
Yeah, and you're also
totally...
trading a lot of cards for that.
This is an anti-Brawl board with so many Throttle cards. Like, you Brawl and then you get the board back at you.
Yeah, very annoying for Artie to do because all these minions, they're just, you know, not basically pricking him and taking away his armor one by one. It's not like a huge chunk every single time. He's getting tickled to death. That's exactly what's happening. Look at all these one-attack minions. It's like that Naxxramas Hero Challenge with my X-No. You just fill up the board with 1/1s. RDU is actually just playing the solo adventure mode.
Kind of, yeah. Well, with the full board, you probably can't play the... What do you even do? Like, do you play Defender of Argus here? You might. Like,
well, first you can't, but you have to trade a little bit.
Yeah, you trade one of the spiders and then... Oh, he's going for it. Totem.
Wants to taunt totem. He can go for the immediate Rockbiter Ancestral Spirit trade, put 2 4/4s, and I like it. It's good. You're playing a little bit into Brawl, yes. But I think you're just going to go for it.
It's a 1/4/4, but you still keep an egg, so it's pretty good.
Well, it's good insurance, right? The fact that you have 2 4/4s that potentially can come out in staggered times.
Yeah, definitely, and it's still an anti-Brawl play, so you definitely want to keep this egg unhatched for some time. Oh my God, he has the Flame Tongue Totem finally.
Totem. Good trade values.
And he has Nerve Shock for Kern. How do you capitalize on it?
See, it'll do 2 damage there. You can use Defender of Argus as well.
The question is, how much are you scared of Brawl still? Like, do you really respect Brawl in here? Because if you... Well, Amaz is a player who actually does a lot of high-risk, high-reward plays. So if he assumes that I'm not scared of Brawl, he can create a very scary board with double 4/4s, just clear Kern with an egg and a healing totem, for example, and then attack your opponent for like 6, 8, 9. Yeah, this can be a pretty scary board, but you will have to make this assumption that there is no brawl. You just YOLO it.
But this is where cards like Feral Spirits are still extremely versatile because you're able to fill up the board anyways after a brawl. But then you're committing your entire hand, like you mentioned, and your opponent still has 6, 7 cards. So Amaz is going to take the safer route and make his board more brawl-proof. It shows that with a Cairn, it still presents the same exact problem, that if you draw into removal like Hex, then you're just going to be sneaking in damage while your opponent consumes his entire turn playing minions.
Do you like the totem play, by the way? It's like you only have 6 points of damage, right? Or even 6 with this. So with if your opponent wouldn't play any minions, you will just have a full board. So just denying yourself an ability to play a card. But we see minions now, so I guess it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's fine here. I think you want to kind of extend the. I think this is where you also want to extend things like the healing totem and using the fire elemental. It is a case where you don't want to overextend, like you've been mentioning. But I think in this scenario, Amaz feels really comfortable. The fact that he's dropping low cost minions and still hasn't brawled is really indicative of what kind of hand RDU has.
Well, on the other hand, like there is no need for brawl because totems are not doing anything in here. It's just 2 minions. So why would you brawl? Like, look at RDU's health. It's just he just got 4 points of damage. He sits comfortably there and just defending. That's why this game is a bit weird, because Amaz is scared of the brawl, so he's not able to push with damage to be able to like counter it. And that's why he's like losing a lot of damage potential.
Yeah, and this Armor Smith effectively canceled out the damage that he gained this turn. And just like you said, he is playing a little scared. Defender of Argus, though, does set up an annoying wall for him to deal with. And again, RDU is just going to kind of play it slow. He still has Naxxramas.
He wanted the Whirlwind, I believe. Or did he? Okay, no, Whirlwind wouldn't do anything here. Do you play, like, Spectral Knight?
You got to play one of your 5 drops, but I think Spectral Knight is a little bit more versatile. Wow. Execute. And use his second Fiery War Axe. Why not? I mean, he's able to kind of deal with some of the damage, and now the damage he's taking per turn is truly negligent. Or negligible, rather, not negligent.
I will definitely go for, like, all-in plays in here. Just play the Fire Elemental, kill the 1/3, play that Flame Tongue Totem.
So slow. Like, he's not playing his, Harvest Golem or Fire Elemental. He's playing it super duper slow.
What is he waiting for? This is so weird. Like, he's not even playing the Fire Elemental now. He's respecting this brawl so much.
Man, Fire Elemental is just sitting there on the bench asking to be put into the game. I'm ready, coach.
It reminds me of the Spectral Knight being a pacifist, by the way. Amaz is literally losing here to a Phantom Brawl.
Yeah, and now he has an ability. If he can't deal with this Naxxramas, he might be in trouble. Hold on. Baron Rivendare has arrived with Flame Tongue Totems.
He can easily deal with Naxxramas with the Flame Tongue, so that's not a problem. And Baron is pretty nice, I guess, because he will be able to get double 4/4. This time it's a double 4/4, and maybe even get tokens from Harvest Golem.
And this is another thing where, like, positioning actually really does matter. Look at how Amaz would have loved to do this. He would have loved to be able to slide the Flame Tongue Totem between the egg and the taunt, and then be able to kind of trade to the right into whatever totems come out. But now he has to trade his Spectral Spiders, which is one of his insurances against...
Oh my god, he won't have enough board position for double Spider if he plays the Baron Rivendare here.
Exactly. So, like, if he was able to trade the totems out, which would die and be replaced anyways, then he'd be able to squeeze in everything and have, like, a super powerful board. And now he's running out of time. There is a little bit of animation, so Amaz has to count for that and get moving before the time runs out.
I guess just get a Spider and finish it off with Fire Elemental. But then, it's just counterintuitive again.
Yikes. All right, well, he's going to go for the full clear and then totem up again?
Oh my god.
Oh my. Okay, he's being really careful about the brawls. I mean, this is one style to play, but he's now sitting at the point where he's at 15 health, and if Warrior gets an ability, like if this hits the face, it's 1 in 8 chance, but if it hits the face, Amaz could be in big trouble. It hits the totem, which is one of the okay outcomes. Like nothing really was going to be there other than the Nerubian was a valuable hit.
I just want to throw it in here, but it's a 1-1 score. And if RDU by chance loses this game or any other game, RDU is out of the tournament. So it's end of the line for RDU. He has to win this game and another game to actually have the chance to advance.
It's as if RDU he doesn't have to draw Brawl ever if Amaz is going to play this safe for a long time. Like he's never truly under pressure. And in a way, it's giving RDU all the freedom in the world. There's no pressure whatsoever that Shaman's applying, despite having full board control.
This game is so weird.
Baron Rivendare is actually useless because there's no way to trigger death rattles other than the spiders. And having like what 8 spiders is pretty useless.
Yeah, I guess.
I think now the Fire Elemental.
Yeah, Fire Elemental finally. Oh my god, it's like maybe he will start dealing that damage. It's like how else are you going to win this game? And it will be so funny if he actually kills it with a spider and now RDU draws a Brawl. Oh my god. If there is a Brawl right now, it will be so weird.
Yeah, I don't know about even toteming to value a spell power totem over 2 spiders either.
That's the Brawl. Oh my god, this is
wow. Wow. Okay, so now the Brawl comes and the Fire Elemental is most likely gonna die. And
oh my god.
This leaves just a healing totem.
He was playing this whole game, he was playing against this Phantom Brawl, and the one turn that is the best for the Brawl, RDU gets it. And
okay, well he does have Feral Spirits to stay alive a little bit longer. He needs to drop this. And he has 2 waves of it, so it's gonna be annoying for Warrior to still chew through. But Amaz did get his board reset finally, and that Brawl was huge for RDU.
And he gets a Gorehole as well. This is pretty nice draw here. I mean, RDU doesn't have a way to draw more cards, but the cards he has are so strong that maybe he can actually use those cards to win the game. Grommash is a possible 10 damage swing if he gets something to activate him. He hasn't used his Whirlwinds, if I remember, so if he gets one of them, that's a possible 10 points of damage. So do you play... This is also a nice play, by the way. Lothep shuts down almost everything here. And RDU is super comfy with like 29 points of health. 25 plus 4.
Well, Amaz, if he plays Feral Spirits, it takes up the rest of his turn. He can't risk doing something like rolling a Taunt Totem and then playing Harvest Golem. That's super weak. This is assuming he's playing around Grommash.
What else can you do? It's like, I mean, you can probably...
I think you play Feral Spirits.
Feral Spirit, yeah. Just Feral Spirit and deal damage, I guess? Like, how do you even win from this point? He was so passive the whole game.
I don't know if he goes for a trade. I think there's a lot of pros and cons about that because you're giving up your spell power, you're giving up your taunts. Because your Drake is still kind of secure for now. If you go for the face, you can't Shield Slam, at least unless without Shield Block. And then you're able to draw in something like Lightning Storm, which can also clear the board. So Amaz still has opportunities, but I think Feral Spirits does come out here. He's going for the trade. Okay. He's feeling like his opponent might have the opportunity to kill him if he doesn't do this.
And this is great for RDU because now with Gorehole, he can just start trading those wolves and just clearing the board.
And the cool Taskmaster.
Potentially 12 points of damage next turn with Gorehole. 18.
Feeling like next turn might be Amaz's last.
That's it. He has to roll.
Lightning Storm.
He has to roll a Taunt Totem anyway. And this is not a Taunt Totem. This is it. This is the game.
This has been a series of disasters or of errors here for Amaz in the sense where nothing has been lining up. The Lightning Storm would have been great if he had the taunts to kind of sit back behind. He sacrificed one a little early for the military, or for the the Spectral Knight, and now The Gromash will come in and end the game. This series is going 2-1. RDU's tournament hopes is still alive as we're going to game number 4.
This was a weird game, I tell you. It's like this brawl. I feel like Amaz will actually have nightmares with the brawl happening somewhere there.
Brawl off the top of the deck when you've been playing around it for around 6 to 7 turns. Well, you know, Amaz now has the Hunter, which is a great matchup against the Control Warrior. I feel like it's pretty useful. He does have things that are susceptible to the Harrison Jones, but if it was like the pure mid-range Hunter, where we've been seeing recently with no amounts of traps and the Eaglehorn Bow, then I would feel like it's just a really strong, favorable matchup for the Hunter.
Yeah, right now it's hard to tell because Amaz is kind of like an anti-aggro tools in his Hunter, but still he has the Leroy, which is pretty important. Strangleforward Tiger is still a pretty nice card that's hard to deal with when it comes into play with the follow-up of Savannah Highmane. So I would probably still give edge to Amaz in here. And if he wins even one game versus RDU, then RDU is out and Amaz has a chance to advance. And if Amaz wins 2 more games with a Hunter, and he's totally capable of doing this, he might be the one advancing. And by the way, you have a very neat drawing on your face.
I know. I was actually noticing that, and I'm glad someone kind of made my eyes a little bit bigger. So it's nice breaking the stereotypes. Although I do need to go to see the dentist if my teeth have gotten that big.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what are you right now.
I'm a rabbit.
Oh, you're a rabbit. Okay. Good for you, I guess.
Thank you. Although my zodiac says I'm a horse, I'm not a rabbit. I was born in 1990.
I guess I'm an archer. Oh wait, like for the Chinese calendar.
You're an archer? Yeah,
I'm an
the
archer for the
Chinese.
standard one. I'm not sure. I'm either a monkey or a pig.
I'll believe either.
I would prefer
Based
to
off
be a
of
monkey.
what I know about you personally. Yeah.
King Makla.
Makes sense to me. Guys, we've been having lots of fun with this tournament. We want to remind you with this couple settings that we have to check out the giveaway that's been going around for the VGVN. Game number 4 is underway. Maz will go to the Hunter. He gets the coin, so I think Nimsh is happy at least. And RDU will be starting off with things like Unstable Ghoul, which is nice to answer the early threats from Web Spinners and Haunted Creepers.
And a Whirlwind as well, so he has a lot of clearing potential here versus Hunter, especially because the Hunter now runs Haunted Creepers, Web Spinners, and a lot of minions with only 1 point of health, so both Ghoul and Whirlwind are pretty strong. Also, he has Lothep to seal Hunter on the key turn, just switching off the spells. So it looks pretty nice for RDU with some drawing potential as well. On the other hand, Amaz, well, I like this hand. He has a coin, he has a Haunted Creeper, he has how do you call it? It's a War Leader, Houndmaster. I always forget the name of the card. Oh my god, I'm so
It's the
bad.
Houndmaster.
The Houndmaster.
Yep.
Coined is so good if you have a beast. It's a potentially a 6/5 card for 4 mana.
All right, and you know, with the coin, it will be able to abuse the Haunted Creeper a little bit, but this is where the AoE definitely kicks in, and at least is able to deal with it a little bit earlier. So, nice start for RDU, but this Houndmaster, I feel like, will crush his dreams a little bit.
How do you play it so that you get the best value here? Do you just coin Houndmaster? And I guess keep the Haunted Creeper?
Well, Amaz is not going to go for that. I think what he's thinking is attacks first and see what he draws. Whoa, big explosion. I think you're trying to see what you draw first off of the Web Spinner and see if you need to be able to what's it called? Attack into the thing is you can use things like Houndmaster. So because either way the Web Spinner is going to die.
But why do you keep the coin though? I guess you can hope that you will draw into a Savannah Highmane maybe and be able to push it on turn 5. Also, like, keeping a coin here enables him to use the combos with Buzzard, Unleash, and Timberwolf being coined on turn 5, which is pretty good. And not really, because we are seeing LOL Fab on turn 5, YOLO. That's shutting down the hunter, kind of.
It's good disruption because he can't easily remove it by dropping something and kill commanding it. And that 5 damage allows him to do something. Now, he might be expecting something like Freezing Trap, and that gives him ability to use the low Theb multiple times, because Freezing Trap is more common than Explosive Trap. So I think he's going to test for it first, and then he's going to be kind of surprised that it is Explosive Trap.
That's a nice trick, by the way. And those spiders, it's so annoying that they are not beasts. Because then you could actually buff them with the Timberwolf, but you really can't. And now RDU has 2 minions, which is pretty important for Amaz, that can actually buzzer unleash. For 2 cards, he has 2 copies of both. This is a lot of cards and a lot of potential here.
Yeah, he can answer that Knight too. He will have 4 damage with Timberwolf. In fact, he might even be able to pick up something else, like Stone Tusk Board with the coin. I think this is the great time to go for a Buzzard Unleash combo. Maz might be wondering about what his possible ways are to answer this, but you have to also get drawing. Hunter is a class where the animation draws do take a while, so if you're on the rope and you start, you're going to run out of time.
On the other hand, I want to give a shout out to Spectre Knight again. This card is so hard to remove, even for Hunter. You just have to kill it with damage. It just soaks 6 points of damage, and it's a threat.
Yeah, shout out to Spectrum Knight. Follow him on Twitter.
A pacifist.
At Spectral Knight.
Somebody should
At pacifist. At Switzerland. All right, well, Maz, what does he draw? He gets a Hunter's Mark, and he does get the second Houndmaster. So these Houndmasters allow him to pick really good trades in the future. He's going to use his coin and try to put out the Stone Tusk board to also be able to pick up the trade. We mentioned that possibility off of the 3 or 4 draws that he gets.
It's a pretty nice situation for Amaz. So he was able to draw so many cards, improved his hand, cleared the board, and now he's putting RDU in a situation where you have to clear. And being RDU, how do you win? It's you just need to deal as much damage as possible, I guess. But
well, I mean, RDU just is going to be stalling. Plus, things like Ragnaros are excellent. If you bait out the removal early with Hunter's Mark, Ragnaros doesn't ever have to attack. You know RDU play. You know that Amaz is playing traps, and you don't ever have to proc something like his weapons. But that passivity might also allow things like High Main to destroy things too.
Do you Ragnaros now, though?
Gorehowl, I think, is a great play here. And it looks like with the execute, he is going to go for it.
Yeah, Gorehowl's pretty nice because you can clear all those minions that come up every turn. But on the other hand, you're paying with life, so it's kind of tough. It's like Ryu only has 22 points of health now. On the other hand, he has Naxxramas, so he might be able to use it to his benefit.
Well, now the Savannah High Main is out here, and it will do some damage, even though it most likely will be cleared.
Naxxramas, this is an interesting play.
And RDU's like, he's so aggressive with these kinds of things, because Naxxramas, plus the possibility of using Ragnaros as the next following turn, may be able to give him the win, depending on how it pans out.
Hunter at all. Oh my god, how much is it lethal? How much damage is this?
5
monster?
Plus the 6, 11. He's seeking for 3 more. If he rolls a Huffer, that's game. Did RDU just cost himself by taking 6 damage? The 6 damage is coming anyways.
Yeah, I think like that was a huge misplay. Now, well, Amaz doesn't have to actually go for lethal here. He can just clear the board. But you definitely should play Animal Companion and see what you get. Like,
if it's Huffer, it's game over. Because then if it's not, you just use Hunter's Mark and then play as if normal, right?
You can, but you don't even have to unleash. Like, you can just clear Naxxramas without one of the hyenas.
And play
so he's going for a Huffer play. Is Leok lethal as well? 6.
Leok would put him 1 damage off lethal.
Oh,
it's
my god, it's a Huffer. This is it, Frodan. RDU is out of this tournament with his greedy attack into Savannah High Main.
And taking the 4 extra damage from the hyenas. This has costed RDU the game. He maybe had an opportunity to set it up. In fact, it sets up more targets for lethal, but maybe RDU wanted to deny the draws from Amaz, right? He has stuff like Buzzard. doesn't want to give Amaz a way to draw cards off of it. Unfortunately, it came with sacrificing his own HP. And again, it might confuse some people, but you really don't want to give Hunter the ability to draw into the things to end the game, even if you feel like you're at a comfortable health at 19 to 20.
On the other hand, this match is not over yet. RDU, even though he's out of the tournament because with his losses, he has no chance to advance to the top four. He's still here fighting for the honorable win versus Amaz, the win that he was really fighting for and like rooting to get it. So we are down to the last game of this amazing match. Hunter
And
versus Shaman.
yeah, Maz is also playing for the chance to advance. Depends on how 6-0's game goes with Reels. So if Amaz wins this and 6-0 loses against Reels, then Amaz is guaranteed a top 2 finish, and he moves on to day number 3. And so this is a very important match for Amaz too. As much as RDU might not be able to advance the next round, RDU can play the spoiler and make it extremely difficult for Amaz to be able to advance the next round.
Like looking at those deck lists, by the way, I feel Amaz is a huge edge with a standard Hunter build that's just dealing damage and building the board. RDU has a standard Shaman. Well, RDU has a little bit of an extra kick with Lava Burst and both Alakir and Doomhammer, but basically, if Amaz has a good start with Buzzard and stuff and is able to deal some points of damage, also Explosive Trap might be pretty useful versus Shaman here. It might end pretty ugly for RDU. So if RDU wins this match with his Shaman, that will be a really good feat. And kudos to him. But still, he has to face Amaz here in the last game of this match. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good one. I don't know if RDU can kind of pull it out. It is hard for Shaman sometimes in these matchups based off how fast Hunter's been able to open. Amaz is going to keep Flare in his hands that way, improve some consistency. He does have high mains, so he's got a mid-game goal. But he picks up Web Spinner on turn 1. I like it. Good start. Even though RDU has the Earth Shock, it feels good to have it.
Well, you basically love Web Spinners anyway, so...
I do, unconditionally. Even if I'm facing them. I'm a fan of the Web Spinner.
I like keeping Flare, by the way, because, well, if you're running only Web Spinners, then just keeping Flare to be able to mill it, to cycle it into something else, is a pretty good thing to do. Oh my god, and he has to decide, and it's so hard. Unleash or Leroy. You probably don't need a second 7 high main being kind of vulnerable to Hex.
It is vulnerable to Hex, and Leroy, there is only one copy of it, but Unleash the Hounds is just so potent in this matchup in general for the reason that we keep stating. You build the board on Shaman's End, you place things like totems, and the Unleash the Hounds allows you to draw into the ways for you to build the board back again.
And he picks a Buzzard. That was so important for Amaz, because sometimes you just have this Unleash, but with no Buzzard, you just run out of cards. But here, he gets the Buzzard, he has the Unleash, so he will be able to draw so many cards next turn. But this turn, it's kind of bleak.
I think he's kind of okay with it, though. I think you're okay with it. He's going to play Houndmaster, which you can make an argument that Hero Power Passing is maybe even better, because Houndmaster, you get immediate value. Most likely, this Houndmaster will die. And in fact, the Houndmaster gives ability for him to trade his minions and reduce it. But also, Amaz doesn't want to take as much damage, so the Houndmaster does challenge a little bit.
The thing now is, like, if he's going to get the Hunter's Mark, because he's going to draw 3 cards, but he might not be able to clear this board. And he doesn't get it. And there is no second Buzzard as well, which is pretty important.
But he is 3 cards deeper, and he does have things to play in the following turns with Animal Companions, High Mains, etc. But the board does belong to the Shaman. And RDU plays Doomhammer, which is a very valuable card because of the way you can race the Hunter. We've seen games in the past where Hunter is able to just push out the damage with hero power and put the pressure back on the Shaman so that they have to do something with the board.
Oh, and the Hunter's Mark is a mockery. It was the next card that he needed. But I totally agree with you. RDU is rocking this board. He has so much damage potential with like Flame Tongue, Rock Biter and Lightning Bolt. Oh my god, this is so much damage here. Does he have actually lethal next turn? If Amaz does something passive, like play as a Tiger or a Savannah High main, can Ardu just win next turn? It's like
Let's
10,
see.
13, 15, 19 points. So he would be 1 damage of lethal.
Of course he is.
How does
Of
this
course
happen?
he is. Well, it's the fact that you position yourself to just get as close as you can. I don't really suspect that RDU would be able to lethal him, even off of a passive turn. But now that the Doomhammer's here, just doing damage, Lightning Bolt to get tempo and control the board, it's just looking like a tough position for Amaz to be able to fight back unless he gets something like another board clear and able to stabilize.
Well, right now RDU is positioning him to have this lethal next turn. It's 5, 9 plus 10. It's 19 points of damage. So if Amaz doesn't clear anything here, and if Amaz doesn't get a taunt, he's dead next turn.
Well, no, he's got 17, doesn't he? The Flame Tongue Totem's already giving a +2, so you can't get an extra +2 from that.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's like
Okay. So he would have 17 damage, unfortunately. Well, now he still has
he has 14.
Now he has 15 right now.
Oh, 15. Yeah, 15.
But Lotheb is a great way to develop your board, and Ardu can start going for the clears. And now that the Flame Tongue Totem is out here too, you can go for good trades. But more importantly, you're setting yourself up for the win. Maz top decks the Stone Tusk Born is not the greatest because Lotheb has made this 100 mark cost 5.
This was, by the way, a splendid use of Lotheb again. Just sealed the turn. That was super important. It snowballed. Like RDU was able to snowball out of this Lotheb. So he stops his opponent from efficiently clearing the board. He stops his opponent from actually winning the game at this spot and setting himself up for a win next turn.
Ooh, what a costly turn. Amaz can finally start controlling the board. But we know that RDU is missing 2 damage from end the game.
Oh my god,
Lava
he gets the
Burst
Lava
is
Burst.
ended. And now RDU has claimed the series. That is more than enough damage to end it, and Amaz will drop 2 to 3, which means RDU gets his revenge. He's not able to qualify through the next round, but at least he's able to claim some of his pride from the previous defeat at Amaz's hand. What a great way, an exciting series to close out both players for their group play. Nimsh, let's talk a little bit about that series. There seems to be some questionable plays throughout the entire time, but overall, let's take a little bit of a moment to reflect about what we just saw.
So basically, the Shaman versus Hunter game was pretty intense. With it seemed like RDU really had an edge from the beginning with a lot of damage cards. That Lava Burst top deck was important, but it wasn't necessary. I think like the Lotheb play was pretty much this to seal the deal, and a Doomhammer pickup at some point with all the damaging cards. So it seems like Amaz didn't have that much to do. On the other hand, the previous game, Shaman versus Warrior were wait, it was like two games ago, right? Yeah, it was 2 games ago. The Shaman versus Warrior, because the previous game was Hunter versus Warrior. Where Hunter versus Warrior, there was a questionable play from RDU attacking into the Savannah High main, getting extra points of damage, not respecting how much damage Hunter can deal, and giving Amaz a win. But on the other hand, like 1 game back, with Amaz playing Shaman, RDU playing Warrior, Amaz was too passive, scared of the brawl, playing around the brawl that just wasn't there. And then at the point where he just couldn't play around brawl anymore, the brawl came and wrecked the game. So I feel like this series was pretty amazing, with a lot of back and forth and good decisions, maybe sometimes questionable decisions, but still both players played really well. They executed the deck splendidly. I really like RDU is really offensive with his Alexstrasza play. Like when he gets Alexstrasza, he just plays it and he goes for the damage, like dealing as much as possible to set up himself to win the game. But other than that, I feel like good decks, good games, and especially the Warlock versus Warlock. Oh my god, the first game where Amaz was able to come back from the sickest opening from RDU. I loved it.
It
I want to
was
see the
really
VOD.
fun. It was really fun, and once again, another chapter has concluded in the Maz versus RDU rivalry, where RDU was the one who's able to best him today, and what I think is very fitting that it was 3-2. Our next series will be Reels versus 6-0 to determine if Amaz can still advance in second place, or will 6-0 be the one who goes through. You're watching the VGVN Naxxramas release tournament. We'll be right back.